Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I don't know. I've just been kind of exhausted by the last 3 years. Well, probably the last 52 years. It's been quite exhausting if you want to know the truth, but mentally taxing the last 3 years. And for those of you who listen to me, you know I was trying to speak the truth and get people to avoid certain things. It's been a growth process for me also, that my knowledge has always been something to be proud of. You need to be humble with your knowledge. You don't need to be giving people the answers all the time. You need to listen because you don't have all the answers. And also, if you give people the answers all the time, they'll never, ever try and look for them themselves. And that's even in education. So, it's been a long road, and it's been quite taxing. And no one around me is up to par with the details of things that I know. I've only given them surface information because the truth is really, really hard for anybody to take. It's been very, very hard for me, especially solo, except for a few people I've met on here, and being able to talk to you. It's been very hard. And so I just kind of, we're human and we have moments, and we don't need to be, popping pills for those moments or whatever. You just gotta keep going, trudging through, having a bad day, having a bad hour, having a bad whatever. But you gotta pull out. I mean, I'm not saying I've been depressed since I've been gone. I've just been not really wanting to talk about much of anything too much. Because, bad news just gets really old. Although people are going to be getting some really, really bad news here pretty soon. It will not be on your regular scheduled programming. One of the secondary news people, PV, I don't know, say pra and eject and, that Veritas thing. But anyway, they just put something out, and it's quite eye-opening. It's things that I suspected already, but come to light that they are not only manufacturing the problems, they're also coming up with the cures. And the cures aren't that great, as we well know now, I would hope. Be careful not to just attack or get mad at the big companies that control this, that sponsor everything on your television. This goes way, way, way bigger. So don't just take whatever the sacrificial lamb is that they offer you. This whole system, unfortunately, and I've known this for a very, very long time, that this could not continue, even in the education system alone. But I knew beyond that, because I'm old enough, that it has to come down. And they've put such a poison on the word rebuild, but that's exactly what has to happen. But we have to do it our way, the right way. And we do have a framework to work from. The Constitution was written beautifully. The Bill of Rights is also something to go on, and the Declaration of Independence. But they've added a lot of trash to that document, taking things away from us. Also, in some of these bills they have passed, laws that they have passed that are completely unconstitutional. The things that they have done for decades and decades and decades. The planning was long term, and it was generational. And the left and the right, a lot of times, were hand in hand. And even what were some good ones that went up there to try and do something good in your governments, they would get them in positions, drug them, film them, whatever they had to do to make sure that they were compromised and they owned them. This is how this works. You cannot revamp that and, put some sort of sanctions on people in those positions and expect them to behave themselves. They're not going to. You cannot play whack-a-mole. Another one will pop up. They will put it right back in the place where it belongs. And they will tell us what you want to hear. And they will give us some of our, rights back that they never should have taken in the first place. And then they'll take some back again. And it'll be for something different. It'll be for climate change. Please don't forget that it just recently in history was global warming. We all needed to fear global warming. When they realized that that would not work and cover all disasters year-round, everything in weather that could possibly happen, they changed that to climate change so it would encompass everything. There was a quote, and I hope I get it right, but it was from an author, Prevail, I believe. The Holocaust did not begin with killing. It began with words. They manipulate the words, ladies and gentlemen. That is why I could see this, because of my major and how important words are to me. And always have been. Great authors use particular words for particular reasons. Evil people do the same thing. The good and the bad. The ignorant and the stupid know no better, and that's what they're counting on, because you're easy to manipulate. They can get even the best of us without us even realizing it. And then ethics and logic, some of my favorite courses in philosophy, they go hand in hand. There is no ethics without logic. There is nothing logical without ethics. And I think we can all agree that our ethics have been in the gutter. And there's been nothing logical about anything that has happened in our recent history. The people that you see in front of you are not who you think they are. And it's hard to face. I pray that we can turn this around, but it's not going to be easy. If we can get the majority of the population across the world unified for our children, the children, there will be some who won't, but we have to move on. But it has to happen. I decided where my line in the sand was 2 years ago, if not more. I think it was in late 2020. I drew my line in the sand, even amongst my my family, my close family here, that if that meant that I had to go live on my own, alone with my daughter, and barely survive and get around the system, that's exactly what I was going to do. And that meant walking away with the minimum. So you've got to draw your line in the sand and protect your soul. And hopefully it won't get that bad if we can get the people in numbers to just say no. Just say no. If they come into us with this digital system, we're going to be in huge trouble. We better stop that one first. I think we can, but it's going to take effort. So, we all had great ancestors somewhere along the way. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Somebody along the way did something that made a difference and survived. And a lot of them did very noble things that we'll never hear about or know about, because they don't write the regular people usually in the history books. They tell their stories. They don't tell mostly our stories unless they twist it to their advantage. It's going to be our turn to take some of the hits so that the future generations can have a better life, a life that we hope for, with families that stay together and children who are raised in communities, by communities, with healthy people who watch after each other. And if they cannot behave themselves, then they need to go elsewhere. And I'm not talking about a military community. I'm talking about a community where you are, together and working together, and have businesses and teachers who take their kids outside and walk, and it's safe. Can you imagine? People who talk to each other with respect and dignity, and treat other people with dignity. Why? Because they deserve it. Why? Because they were raised right. Why? Because they're good people. We have to stop making excuses for bad people, because they are really bringing us all down, including some of the people that you've admired all your life. You need to truly see them for who they are. And think for yourself and trust in yourself. And allow your higher power your Creator to come and reside within you and give you the strength to go on and protect your soul, which is eternal. Love to you all. Prayers to you and yours. We can do this. Bye for now.